What if I told you that Globe World was made because of a medical facility on land which dumped all of their garbage into the ocean? I'm talking rubber gloves and other harmful chemicals. The citizens of Bikini Bottom took those to create a theme park, and that's how we got Glove World. And the creatures we know from Rock Bottom. But now let's get deeper into this. Let me explain. As a first, the Rock Bottom episode is in fact the first episode we see Glove World at. Well, we don't really see it from the inside, but just from the outside perspective, and Spongebob and Patrick are taking the bus. The first time we do really see it is season 5 in the episode Roller Cowards. We see Spongebob reading a bedtime story to Gary when Patrick crashes in holding a TV. He shows Spongebob a commercial about a new roller coaster in Glove World, the Fiery Fist of Pain, which opens the next day. At night, both friends have the same nightmare of Glove World, but everything turns really odd and they end up in a grave. Then they travel to Glove World, and even though both are scared, they're unable to tell each other. They even start lying that they forgot their tickets just to find an excuse. When they get to the line, they decide to pass the time while roaming the park, and there they run into Globy Glow. Ah, literal glove mascot. Me myself, I don't even had that scene in mind like that, but watching it again seemed pretty iconic. They get on a ride called the Midden, but it's pretty lame. Afterwards they rush to get into the actual ride, and as they buckle in, the ride turns out to be broken. They confess how scared they are, and out of nowhere the ride starts working again. In the end they actually lose their spines, but are really happy they made it. And this episode is where the question starts popping up. Look, I know theme parks are made to be exactly that. Aim to represent something. Gloves though are a pretty unusual thing, even for SpongeBob. You see, in America, it's pretty regulated how garbage or other medical equipment is thrown away. It's just to prevent pollution. And if there was a facility that would dump stuff just like that into the ocean, there would be big consequences. I'm talking jail. But here's the thing, there are countries that don't really care about it. The Philippines, for example, throw the most plastic into the ocean. India and China ain't doing better either, so there is plenty of hazard stuff to throw away. So the residents of Bikini Bottom don't even get that it's garbage. There is some episode about pollution or global warming, but one sticks really out. The Endless Summer. It's a 2-minute episode that is pretty interesting. SpongeBob gets to work and sees a lot of gas coming out of the Krusty Krab. Turns out Mr. Krabs is using a setup to pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. All that just to make a pool behind the Krusty Krab to make more money. SpongeBob, not knowing about global warming, helps the idea and figures out how to take it to the next level. Then Mr. Krabs sees what SpongeBob is doing and tells him that he's polluting the atmosphere. The residents come running and Krabs thinks it's because of the pool. Yet they are moving north because it's too hot to live there. The water even evaporates. It's a perfect example of what happens when pollution is taken to the next level. Maybe it's also the reason no one questions Globe World. They don't even know what it is. Even if they did, all they do is make a theme park out of it because it's the best they can do. But I can't say the same for the citizens of Rock Bottom. You see, I know that many stuff is like bad for the ocean. Chemicals are something else. The creatures of Rock Bottom are a whole other level and are the only ones that differ from anyone else. This eerie place with a really gloomy atmosphere and strange plants, it's isolated, dark blue and purple, giving really uncanny vibes. If we skip forward to season 13, Mr. Krabs gets the idea to start a food truck. And he puts Squidward to drive while SpongeBob navigates. They drive all over Bikini Bottom, but just can't hold the line against the other food trucks. Desperate, they try their luck at Rock Bottom. They drive around the mall and cemetery, yet there is no one around. Till we see the first fish that appeared once in the first episode we ever saw Rock Bottom at. His name is Bert. Funny thing, he keeps disappearing the whole episode. When they finally catch him up, he asks them why are they chasing him. He himself was just trying to dry his armpits. Out of nowhere, everyone from Rock Bottom appears out of a bus with food from the Krusty Krab in their hands, and they all sound like undead. This guy even wakes up from a coffin. In general, it's so many elements that just show that there is something strange going on. Of course, you might say, what does this have to do with medical waste, or can that even happen like that? And the answer is yes. Many chemicals we use daily end up in the ocean, and it can disrupt the hormones of many fish, and also many fish can develop differently or reproduce weirdly. For example, the mercuries. It often comes from gold mines, and fish can really deform from hard stuff like this. Let me know what you guys think about this, and tell me what you want to see next. I love you all, and see you in the next one.